Hey Brady, so yeah, I'm finally getting around to doing this video. Actually, I'm re-recording it because the last one didn't work. Um, but yeah, sorry it took so long. I know, I'm a terrible friend. Um, and yeah, I just kind of felt like finally getting around to doing these because once again, I'm awake, nothing else to do. And yeah, in your prompt 4, it was, you asked, um, where does art begin? And you narrowed it down to 3 possibilities of what it could be. And you had um, the concept, the process of actually making the art, or the finished result, the product. And I think you went with concept, which is understandable. Most people would probably go with that. And I kind of agree, but I think it's not quite that. It's more intent than concept, because you can have an idea, um, but you have to be trying to generally you have to be trying to say something with it. You have to mean something. You want to invoke an emotion or make someone think of a certain idea, and that has to be your intent. I mean, intent can't be enough by itself. Obviously, you've got to act on it and create the art itself, but it's still important. I mean, like, to give an example of how you delineate, scribbles in a notebook generally aren't considered art. They might lead to art, they give you the idea for it, but they themselves generally are, because you're just doodling around. You didn't really have a message you were trying to convey. And once you start crossing over that line and trying to show someone something or tell them something, then it starts becoming art. And that's what I really want to get to, is that it's really about the presentation, how you present the art, that really makes it. And different mediums are presented in different ways. The stereotypical thing, you mentioned, painting, and you mentioned how, um, you had heard that someone's point of view was that the painting itself is just a record of the act of painting. And I guess that kind of makes sense, but that's only one small example of what art can be. And painting is just the most widely thought of thing of art. I mean, you and I know, because we both read webcomics, that there can be art that is continually ongoing. Um, with comics like that, each strip is an individual piece of art, and it's a finished product itself. But when it has continuity, like that storyline, then it's not finished. It's still being presented. And even with something that's not doing that, something that can still be finished, you can have outliers. Most famous, or I guess maybe actually infamous, example would be Marcel Duchamp's Fountain, the urinal that he scribbled "R. Mutt" on, and presented it as art. And I know a lot of people would probably argue whether that is art or not. I'm not going to get into that here, but it's just goes to show my point that you have a concept, clearly, but there's almost no process. All you did was find the urinal and scribble something on it, and then the product itself is just a urinal placed there. There's almost not even a product, because he didn't really alter it in any way, but the presentation of it is what really mattered. He declared that this is art, and made you think about actually what could be considered art itself. So it's kind of meta there, but yeah, I think presentation is what really matters. The artist tells you, to look at this in a certain way, and it makes you feel something. And that's the most important thing about art, is to get you thinking, and to interpret it in a certain way. Not necessarily, just what he wants, but what good art does is makes everyone have their own interpretation. And so yeah, I think that's what it boils down to: presentation.